Rivers with a 3rd and 8 needs the 30-yard line for a first down. He leads the blitz, throws over the middle, and that is complete, and a penalty marker flies. Rivers over the middle, got his man to the 35-yard line. Keenan Allen, the rookie.
Gonna get their timing down. 3rd down and 8 following the penalty. As Rivers looks for Keenan Allen, he's got him. It's a first down and more for Allen, the rookie out of Cal.
The adjustment on the ball.
He does have the pick on the first possession of the night. Rivers in the pocket, he slings, and he's got Keenan Allen.
Looking at his ankle on the sideline. 3rd and 10, some time for Rivers here, and a completion for the first down.
Rivers faking to Woodhead, and a first down pass to the rookie Allen. 3rd and 6. Rivers from the gun. Jaguars coming. Rivers over the middle, sliding catch by Allen, still going to the 10, to the 5, and finally brought down.
3rd and 10. In the pocket. Rivers now on the move. Looks, throws. It's complete. Keenan Allen's got his first catch, and he's got a first down. Just short of it. Woodhead will shift. Shotgun Rivers. Steps up. And it's handled by Allen for a first down. That's another 3rd down catch converted into a fresh set.
Now left. This is a tough assignment against Von Miller.
They get the first down with Keenan Allen.
Wide open over the middle is Allen. And Allen across midfield into Miami territory for a first down.
The football might be slick. Put him on. Don't take a chance.
3rd and 4 from the 50. And there's a completion to Allen. Allen able to cut away from the defense and step out of bounds at the 20. That puts Rivers over. There's a jump pass for the first down to Allen. Still on his feet as 2 Chiefs collide with him. And he's tackled right at the 50.
Bengals leading it 7-0 on a touchdown run from Benjarvis Green Ellis. Rivers. Oh, great touch. Keenan Allen. Rivers. Up for grabs.
Jones didn't think this is a catch. It's a great effort. I know that by Allen, seeing the back shoulders.
In a 7-point hole. We're down to 25 seconds to go in the 3rd. On 3rd and 5, rush coming. Rivers throws, out route, caught by Keenan Allen.
Rivers on 3rd down and 3. Fires downfield. It's caught by Allen. And Keenan Allen is in for the touchdown. Rivers to the end zone. Touchdown. 2nd of the game for Keenan Allen.
Rivers, crossing pattern, on the run, and there he is. Keenan Allen with a hurdle job to the end zone.
That's awesome.
Touchdown, San Diego.
That's Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Points him out, so he's saying zone, 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 but nobody saw the crossing route. What a great finishing.
In motion. Rivers going that way. Corner. Caught. Touchdown. Allen again. Wow.
Tight bunch. He's got man coverage, breaks it to the corner. You can't throw it any better. I love the
playoffs the last 3 years. Rivers try to step up. A wobbly pass, and it's caught. Keenan Allen for the first down and more. Good protection for Rivers. And he completes. He has Allen down the sideline. Makes the cut to the 20, 15, 10. Down he goes inside the 10.
3rd and 1. Throwing for it and getting it. as Keenan Allen has his first catch.
The linebackers lining up inside. I say they come this time.
Rivers goes to the left side, and perfect pass to Allen for another first. It's the loudest I've seen it here at Sports Authority Field. 3rd and 4 as Rivers has the completion, and it's Keenan Allen out of bounds for the first down. As Rivers goes to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Keenan Allen.
Well, that's a play that look at that little shake at the line of scrimmage. That was enough to create the separation.
Seahawks showing blitz, and here they come. And right away, it's Allen. Boy, Rivers picked it up immediately, and that's a first down to the 38-yard line.
So they're spreading out, going to sling it here on 3rd and 5. No running back at all in the game.
Rivers with time, and the pass is caught along the sideline, and it's Keenan Allen. That's his 6th catch of the day.
There are actually 3 tight ends.
Rivers will throw, and the pass is caught by Keenan Allen again, his 8th catch of the day. 3rd quarter. Rivers hit as he throws, and coming back to make the play is Keenan Allen, and a first down for San Diego. Rivers took a pop, but Allen. San Diego 7 for 11 on 3rd downs, 3rd and 6, and they've got another first down, and guess who? Yes, Keenan Allen, a new career high. That's his 10th catch.
Reverse quick pass. That's complete to the 10-yard line. Keenan Allen, and that's a first down.
Held in check by the Chiefs. 3rd and 9. Rivers shuffles out of the pocket, throws across his body, has the first down to Allen. Lunges to the 30 and runs out of bounds. First down and more for the Chargers.
He goes underneath to Allen, and Keenan Allen is bounced out by Aqib Talib. That's something for this Charger offense. Has been stymied so far. Over the top, he's got the first down. As Ward.
Gates goes in motion on a 3rd and 10, first possession of the day. Rivers out of the gun, throws on an out route. It's caught along the sideline. Keenan Allen working.
A postseason win in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Rivers on 3rd and 4. Little off-balance throw to Keenan Allen. Stumbles ahead, picks up the first down, brought down.
Let's hear it, jumps out of it. Chargers 1 out of 6 on 3rd down. That's caught, and an excellent play to get a first down.
Rivers throws. It's complete. Keenan Allen for a first down, 5-yard pickup.
And the Ravens, they don't want to...
3rd and 3. Can the Chargers pick up a first down? And the pass threaded to Keenan Allen. What a catch.
3rd down and 10. Allen has been the go-to guy all day long for Rivers. And he's a go-to guy again. A first 3rd down and 19. Line showing blitz, and here they come. Rivers crossing pattern to Keenan Allen, and he picks up a first down on 3rd and 19.
Clemens will put it in the air. Connects with Keenan Allen for a first down. They'll move the chains, working.
The guard back to the quarterback. Rivers last passing down. There he's doing it again. Rivers steps in and completes on the cross. It is Keenan Allen who's got a first down, and San Diego takes.
After timeout, 3rd and 6 snap. Diving attempt, and the catch is made as Keenan Allen finding James Starks on a 5-yard touchdown pass. Here's the 3rd down play, and it picks up another first down as Keenan Allen is winning the matchup.
The linebacker came with him. You know it's man-to-man. You think it would be a draw.
Pass, Keenan Allen. And he's down to the 20. They blitz, it's picked up, and Rivers finds Allen with his 12th catch of the game. had got the first down.
2 interceptions for Rivers on 3rd and 3. Has some time, fires to a wide open Keenan Allen, who has the first down. At the 42-yard line, a gain of 15.
3rd and 6. Rivers got rid of it. That's complete across midfield, and on the move is Keenan Allen for a first down to the 43. Rivers, quick release, and that's complete to Keenan Allen to the 35-yard line and a first down. Rivers, far side of the field, caught by Keenan Allen for a first down.
On the cross, quick slant, caught by Allen, first down, San Diego 49, pickup of 9. And they get another one.
Has some time and completes the first down throw to Keenan Allen. Rivers looking for Keenan Allen. Got away from Aqib Talib and a first down.
Rivers, that's a completion and first down yardage for Keenan Allen. Throw it. This side of the field, and that is complete to Keenan Allen for a first down.
Playing guard as opposed to center.
Oliver is in, 6 in the secondary, 3rd and 3 Rivers. He tries to thread the needle, he does. There's Keenan Allen, gains with the stop, and also Johnson.
Got to beat man-to-man coverage when you play against this Kansas City secondary.
They bring him back, they rush 4, and outside. He's got Allen, who breaks 1 tackle, and he'll zag and lean and get the first down to the 33. Missed by gains.
Here comes the pressure up the middle. It's picked up effectively, and Rivers completes the pass to Keenan Allen. 3rd down and 4. And this one is going to be caught by Keenan Allen. And he is in the Eagle territory and tackled from behind. Big gain, and the Chargers are in field. The Chargers.
Keenan Allen on the outside. He's great job of getting released. Sells the inside slant route, then just gets back to the outside. And then look at this slippery right here. Anthony Lynn, head coach of the Chargers, told us he's the most competitive receiver they have. Philadelphia Eagles are in man coverage across the board.
3rd down and 4, and the pass thrown underneath. It'll be a first down to Keenan Allen. And Allen inside the 40. Here's Phillip Rivers. And it's caught! Phillip Rivers to Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen in a foot race, and he'll go out of bounds. You talked about him. He's the man. He's the wild card on this club offensively, and Allen, 28.
Rivers flings it, and it's caught by Keenan Allen. Once again, the play clock winding down. Rivers, protection holds up. Rivers skies it and connects with Keenan Allen to the 24. 5:51 to play. Rivers fires and connects to Keenan Allen. Tackle made by Thompson. It's a first down.
0-4 on 3rd. From the 21, 3rd and 7. Rivers, and he's on the money, and here comes Keenan Allen. He catches it, and Emergence catches him. First down run to the 49 after the catch. 3rd and 9. They got around Okun, but maneuvering and getting a pass off, and a first down grab, Keenan Allen. Rivers, 3 down, caught, and Allen, did he get to the pylon? No. He's down to the 2.
Rivers on 3rd down. Downfield, Rivers connects with Keenan Allen.
LA just 1 out of 6 on 3rd downs today. Rivers over the middle, caught by Keenan Allen. He's got the first down.
In this situation, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, they have really struggled.
Rivers to throw, and does, and gets the first down to Keenan Allen. wrestled to the ground eventually.
His opinions as well.
Blitz coming. Rivers throwing. There's Keenan Allen inside the 40 of Buffalo. And Keenan Allen, first and goal Charger.
Cowboys defense trying to buckle down here on the big third down snap, and the pickup of the first down thanks to Allen. First and goal to go.
Tell him who to block. Bring the running back in. Slide over here to the left line.
Eckler's been big in the passing game the last few weeks. Looking the other way, though. The pass. Back to Allen. And no Cowboys able to stand up as Allen weaves past them all for the touchdown. What an effort by Keenan Allen. Atlanta has some very important wins in their 6-4 record. Here's the 3rd and 5. And again, it's Allen. Another chunk play for a first down. Falcons already.
Watch for Rivers drifting to his right, trying to hit Allen out of the slot.
Loss of 4 pushes him back to the 7. Rivers slinging it. End zone wide open is Allen.
To try and exploit it with a short pass.
This is Allen on the catch. Forced out of bounds by McCourty at the 40-yard line. They pick up 8.
Time running down on the play clock. Here comes the blitz. Rivers throwing far side wide open. That is caught by Keenan Allen. And Allen at the 10 for a first down.
Clock is down to 1. Rivers, delayed rush. On time. Hits Keenan Allen. First down across the 25. Rivers steps up. Rivers, rainbow. It's caught. Keenan Allen for a first down.
Corner blitz. And he's got the wide open receiver. The dancing Keenan Allen. Looking for a block. Reggie Nelson is there inside the 30. Winding run after the catch of 27.
Motion man is Allen. Floater caught by Allen. Touchdown Chargers.
Rivers to the middle, and it's Allen who is inside the 5 to the 1. He's got a first down, so it'll be first and goal.
3rd and 17 for the Chargers. Deep drop for Rivers. A rainbow. Keenan Allen's got it for a first down across the 25.
Rivers over the middle. Keenan Allen complete inside the 45. Rivers just inside the 20-yard line to Keenan Allen for a first down. On 3rd and 7, Rivers all kinds of time. He hits his man inside the 30-yard line to the 28. Keenan Allen for a first down. That's Antonio Gates settling down in the slot on the near side. Rivers throwing over the middle. It is caught just inside the 15 by Keenan Allen.
Let's get ready for the next one.
3rd and 11, Rivers. Rivers over the middle. Penalty marker is down. The catch is made by Keenan Allen. Let's check the flag.
Again, good time. Going deep. He's got Allen. Wide open. Cuts and breaks a tackle on the play of Thompson. Allen down inside.
They've been so good on 1st and 2nd down. They average 7 yards per play, or just under it. Rivers on 3rd and 6. Pocket collapsing. Rivers throws. On time. Keenan Allen into Denver territory. Working out of the gun, Rivers. First possession of the day for Los Angeles. Rivers has time. Makes the connection to Keenan Allen for a first down. That'll move the chain.
380.
Rivers, maybe a shot at the end zone. Here it comes. And did he hang on? Keenan Allen got his feet down and caught the football.
Rivers resets Eckler. Claps his hands for the snap. Steps up, throws, and that'll be a first down again. And that's Keenan Allen who gets run out of bounds at the 30. Rivers, again, that play clock all the way down to the end. Hangs in the pocket, throws, caught for a first down and a lot more for Keenan Allen, who slips a tackle. 3rd and 4. Rivers hit as he throws, caught. They go Allen's way again. Down he goes at the 23-yard line.
Ravens bring 4. Rivers has some time. Middle shot is caught for the first down. Keenan Allen at the 45-yard.
4. Yeah, watch Eckler out of the backfield.
Rivers under duress. It's caught. Allen inside the 5. He lunges end zone.
But that's not who they are.
Keenan Allen at the top. Pressure. Rivers sideline, and it is pulled down by Allen. His first catch. Boy, do they blitz across. He gets it over to Allen. And he picks up some valuable yardage to make it. Guy has never missed a start. 3rd and 4. Still flinging it down the field. Completes it and throws a touch.
3rd and 13. Rivers steps up, throwing inside the 5. Caught. Touchdown. Keenan Allen. Rivers throwing wide open, got his man Keenan Allen, and Allen inside the 10 to about the 7, maybe the 6-yard line.
Good block by Tevy. And he's got Allen at the 2-yard line. He works in there against Slay. He's got the catch on 3rd and 4. He picks up 10, 1st and goal Charger.
Out there, he's got to be willing to throw the ball away. Just simply cannot take a sack in this situation.
Blocked by Eckler. 3rd and 8. Caught by Allen on the side. Allen was right there with the catch. Slay was in the vicinity, and he beat 6 defensive backs. Scott the block at the left tackle. Here he comes. He's got the first down. Allen beats Slay again.
Chargers trying to bang it in. A week after their offense was so ragged in Detroit. Rivers to the end zone. It is.
He just has the ability to go for 2 or 3 sacks in a game.
Rivers on 3rd and 13. Up, it's caught. Allen still on his feet. What a big play for the Chargers, boy. Gibson.
Rivers to throw. Dancing in the pocket. Middle of the field. He's got Allen. At his 2nd reception of the day up to the 32-yard line. Howard was in on the coverage.
A lot of things, at the last second communication-wise.
Here's a 3rd and 4. And Rivers slings it, and he finds Keenan Allen, his favorite. What a combo that is for 10 yards. Pass to the right side, caught for the first. That's Allen's 2nd catch. Both of them coming on 3rd downs for conversions.
From the gun. Rivers has the time. And Rivers hits his man. Keenan Allen goes upstairs for Tennessee. This is a 3rd and 3 for L.A. Rivers has the time. Sideline throw. Keenan Allen. Yes, a catch.
Flying day for Keenan Allen. 4 catches, 29 yards, playing with a tender hamstring. Good protection. And there is Keenan Allen. We just called his name, and it's a first.
Green Bay is changing the tempo of the offense.
Pass is caught. Allen. And we'll see what kind of forward progress they give. It looks to be enough.
It's helped to not have to have those corners hold up so long.
Pass is caught. Allen. And now 3 return that set up the score in the first half. 3rd down and 5 now for Rivers. Great effort to make that catch by Keenan Allen. That's a first down, and he's all psyched up.
Got to account for Eckler.
Rivers, and he's got his man for a first down. Keenan Allen reels it in front of Chris Harris.
Rivers steps up, throws, has his man open, and he hit him. Keenan Allen with the catch for the first down. On the quick slant, that is complete. And across the 40. Rivers, this side, and that's complete to Keenan Allen. And Allen inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. And a first down.
Pepkins the block on Clark to the end zone. That's grabbed. Allen, touchdown. What a catch
by Keenan Allen, and a great throw by Rivers. Allen so productive, 95 catches, over 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Outside they go. Allen. Fuller will usher him out of bounds. First down, catch and run to the 45 of the Chiefs and a pickup of 10. Eagles secondary, here comes Rivers. Here comes Suggs. There goes the ball, and it's caught by Allen. In front of Ward, 44-yard line. Taylor to the air. He's got his receiver, Allen, and he dives after the tackle. Kelly was on the move. Tevy the block at the left tackle. There is Allen, who we were just talking about.
You've been able to kick the field or throw a pass quickly for 2 yards.
That's Keenan Allen wiggling. Middle of the field. Laterals it to Eckler's on the ground with it to close out the half. Third down and recover from 2nd and 24. Coming after him. Got it away. Oh, what a catch.
You're going to watch Allen get over. There's a guy in front, a guy behind. It's Matthew Snead converging just over him, just inside of him.
To start off the second quarter. Herbert throwing the near side of the field, and the catch is made short of the 10-yard line by Keenan Allen. And that's enough for a first down. 3rd and 9. That pass over the middle, and that's complete. 30, 25-yard line. Keenan Allen once again.
You just see he sees the zone coverage. He's going to fit this one in between the 3 defenders. That is well done. Another penalty.
Herbert shakes his man, throws. That's in the end zone. That's complete to Keenan Allen.
3rd down and 7. Snap bit to his right. Herbert is being chased, thrown on the run, and it is caught. Touchdown. Keenan.
Got C.J. Henderson on Keenan Allen.
3rd and 7, and the pass is complete to Allen, who does a great job to navigate the change and pick up the first down.
Keenan Allen one-on-one up top, but here comes the pressure.
Here it comes. Herbert feeling it, gets rid of it, and completes it to Allen for the first down. It's been a big factor for him in his early success. Big play here, 3rd and 5, and of course he goes to Keenan Allen for another 3rd down catch and another LA first down.
Watches him every day in practice, obviously on game day, but his decision-making has been stellar.
That pass is complete, and it's going to be enough for the first down. Twisting for the first down was Keenan Allen for Herbert and the Chargers.
Here comes the blitz again.
This side of the field, Keenan Allen with the catch and first down yardage. He's brought to a standing stop at about the 34-yard line. That'll be a first down. 3rd and goal. Herbert throwing, end zone, touchdown, Keenan Allen.
But this is a tough place to win.
3rd and 2. He's going to throw for it. Far side of the field, and that is complete for the first down. Keenan Allen.
Balazs motions out on 3rd and 3. Herbert stands in, and he finds Allen. First catch of the day, moves the chains, and yet another 3rd down reception for one of the most. Herbert is, as a rookie, really good on 3rd down, really good against the blitz. Sees just a 4-man rush here. Finds Allen, who's going to run for a first down. Already the 6th on 3rd down and a long one. Fake to Balazs, throwing the slant. Keenan Allen, first down. Oh, when you've got that guy at your disposal, why not? Even on 3rd and short.
This play will bring us to the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 10 for the Chargers. Herbert throwing, goal line, touchdown, Keenan Allen. Here comes the blitz.
There it goes. We just said it, 3rd down. You better find Keenan Allen. You better double him.
Allen right at that first down marker. Looks like he has enough. Herbert rolling, looking, throwing, end zone, touchdown. Keenan Allen.
Right there. You just look at the corner. He's in position, right? But look at the throw. It comes out, and as he gets his head around, it hits the receiver right in the chest.
Herbert to the end zone. At the goal line, touchdown.
7 defensive backs. Eckler out of the backfield. Good block by Bulaga downfield for Keenan Allen. Top receiver in the NFL.
Falcons bringing it again. Herbert to the outside. He's got a first down to Keenan Allen, who's been the top third down receiver in the NFL over the last few years. Only a 4-man rush. It's picked up, and he's got time. And he's got Allen for a first. 5th catch for Allen already. Herbert looking his direction again. Another timing route and another first down. He fights his way out of bounds with 1:02.
Yeah, sometimes football super complicated.
So much better since Morris was promoted to head coach. There's Keenan Allen on the slam into the 3rd down.
Very respectful and a guy willing to learn. He says he does not have all the answers, and he knows he's got a long way to go still.
Here is Keenan Allen, who's got answers with a first down inside the 15.
Sets up the Chargers with a much more favorable down and distance.
That's Keenan Allen hiding him in the backfield. Watch him coming out.
3rd and 5. Herbert over the middle. It's Allen inside the 5.
Give him a little pre-snap indicator there, Spiro.
3rd and 5. Herbert's pass is caught. First down, Chargers. It's Allen. Who had a sensational camp and made the team. Herbert on 3rd and 7. What a pass. Allen. And then he loses the football. Who's got it?
I think he got
Chargers it back. Recover. First of all, what a pass thrown by Herbert.
Maybe Eckler can make a play.
Herbert off the seam. It's Allen. What a play. First down, Chargers. Can they find some late game magic with this defense? 3rd and 4. Herbert. Allen. And another first down.
4th third down for the Chargers, up 3rd and 10 or longer. And the pass on the money for a first down at the 27 with Keenan Allen.
And Diggs stops because no one throws that.
He actually got a hand on it. See the way the ball.
Yeah. You're just going to get the ball to Keenan Allen. You're going to go in here, let him go up and shake his guy and throw it to him.
There it is. Great call, Tony, as Allen has the catch to the...
Inside a minute and a half on 3rd and 6. Herbert zips it in. First down. Keenan Allen.
In fact, they're trailing.
6 in the secondary. 3rd and 5. He gets away from one defender. Throws downfield. Keenan Allen. What a catch over Hill. 33-yard line.
Going against the #1 corner for New England, J.C. Jackson.
He's had a career year. Herbert looked that way. Now a biggie for a touchdown.
For more than a half? Absolutely.
Chargers 2 of 8 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and 9. Plenty of time. And it's on time to Keenan Allen. First down. Herbert is 16 of 19. 170 yards and a touchdown. 3rd and 4. He hits on 3rd down to Keenan Allen. Into filling the team, the Chargers 16. Herbert drives it downfield and hits his man Keenan Allen. A first down toss to open the 4th. And it covers 18.
Kelly in the backfield on 3rd and 3. Herbert, backside pressure, steps up, throws, and it's caught. It went over the defender and into the hands of Keenan Allen out of bounds at the 32.
Bug says, who knew? Who knew? 3rd and 13. Herbert gets his feet, fires across midfield, and Keenan Allen is there. Gets open.
One of the best pressure teams in the NFL on 3rd down.
Herbert throwing other side of the field, and he's got his man, and that is Keenan Allen. Allen believes he's not touched and is on his way down the sideline, but he will be called.
The front now has time to get to Herbert.
3rd and 7. Herbert throwing. He's got a man wide open. Keenan Allen.
And they've gotten him the last 2 ball games.
Nickel package here for Cincinnati. Herbert steps up in the pocket. He will sling it downfield, and it's caught for a first down by Keenan Allen, who is Mr. 3rd down.
Zone coverage with eyes on Herbert today, keeping him in the pocket.
3rd down and 3. Herbert hangs in there and hits his man. Keenan Allen, first down.
Extra men on the rush. Pat caught. Allen down inside the 5.
Toyota halftime promo.
catch for a first down while Terry is crying back in the studio. Herbert, end zone, pass caught, touchdown, Allen.
LA has started this game 1 out of 3 on third down. 3rd and 10 here. Herbert, he's got Keenan Allen. Allen inside the 20, and he's got the first down. Herbert to Keenan Allen. Who else on third down?
He's pointing. Send an extra attacker, and that's going to be caught near midfield.
Different sounds the same. That kid could be a great one.
3rd and 6, and a good throw to find Keenan Allen. Boy, how much has Justin Herbert missed?
Great call that time by Steve Spagnuolo.
4 sacks, season high against Herbert. 3rd and 18, looking downfield, sideline shot here, is caught by Allen. He worked inside of Williams to field.
Eckler in the backfield. It's 3rd down and 3. Outside they got Allen. Chased by Hamilton. Out of bounds he goes. He's got the first down.
Here's 3rd and 4. Herbert steps up, throws this side of the field. Keenan Allen, good hands, makes the catch, out of bounds, first down.
It's 3rd and 4, and it's Keenan Allen to get the first down to the 25-yard line. Again, Eric Rowe, the safety, remains out for the Dolphins. 3rd and 5 for Herbert. He's got time and throws. What a throw! Keenan Allen.
But you never know with Mike Williams back on the field.
Allen's in motion. That's where he's going. He's got it. First down at the
3rd and 3. Herbert looking for Keenan Allen. He's got him. As Justin Herbert told us on Friday, Keenan Allen is as good as it gets.
Anytime you get the ball anywhere near Williams, he's got a great opportunity to make a play.
Herbert protected, pass caught by Allen. And Keenan Allen up to the 43-yard line with a... Here's a throw back to Herbert. Looking for Allen. He's got him. And Allen tiptoeing down the sideline. Out of bounds at the 23.
We only have 364 days left, Jay, so we're on a roll, buddy.
Let's not ruin it. Gene Steratore all over it, as he usually is. Keenan Allen. Boy, Justin Herbert.
And Mike Williams came back to full health. It gave Justin Herbert a full complement of receivers to throw to.
On 3rd down and 8. Herbert stands in there, fires, he's got Keenan Allen. First down into Denver territory. And out of bounds at the 42. 3rd down and 4. Herbert fires, he's got Allen again at the 5. Touchdown! Keenan Allen! After an 8-yard pickup to Joshua Palmer, it's 3rd and short. Herbert right back to Keenan Allen, who breaks a tackle and is hit hard by Singleton at the 15.
Deep drop. Fires, caught, and that's going to be a first down to the 10-yard line. He goes to Keenan Allen.
He's showing blitz, but come out of it.
Yeah, they back out. 4-man rush. Pass is caught. And inside the 30 to the 23-yard line goes Keenan Allen. 3rd down and 4. Pressure. Gets it away. Caught. First down.
Herbert through the air, 9 and 12. There's 69 yards. On the move, great throw.
Vikings rush 5. Herbert to the sideline for Allen. Makes the catch. Keenan Allen with a first down, working against Byron Murphy.
You see everybody on the line of scrimmage, namely those two right in the middle, forcing communication between the center, quarterback, and running back.
Herbert with a 4-man rush in his face, throws to the right side. Catch by Allen, beautifully dropped in by Herbert between 2 defenders, Mark, and it's 1st and goal at the Vikings 3.
Wow. It's going to look like crisscross applesauce.
3rd and 7. Pressure from Hunter. Herbert steps away, finds Keenan Allen. Goes airborne for the first down. 3rd and 17. Herbert. Oh boy. Back over the middle. Dangerous throw, but he finds Allen and he gets the first down.
You kidding me?
5 defensive backs, 3rd down and 4. Kelly is the back. Herbert to the air. Kelly the block, and Herbert downfield. Caught! Allen. Working on Herbert, 8 of 13 to the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Keenan Allen.
Hard to look at his body of work and not say he was really good.
Here's Allen, touchdown Chargers. 3rd down and 6. Herbert has Allen. And Allen has a first down inside the 25.
Oh, you saw all those tight shots from warm-ups. 3rd and 5. He's still got that cannon arm, and he still has Keenan Allen. 2 catches for Allen on the drive. Get the Chargers their first down.
Yeah, which is
right.
rare. Yeah.
No, it's not rare. You guys very symbiotic this year. 3rd and 7. Eckler throws. Allen holds on. Gain of 25 to the 45.
3rd down and 5. 4-man rush. Sideline shot for Allen, who's got it. And a first down. A touchdown tonight. The only offensive touchdown of the evening. Pass caught for a first down by Allen. 3rd down and 4. Herbert floats it. Allen! What a catch!
And that's a throw for whatever reason for a guy who's as accurate as Justin Herbert. He has struggled.
Makes the game hard. 3rd and 7. Roll out to buy time. There's a good pass. And it's a first down.
You don't have the under center play action game, the way to run it right and left. That's going to open this up. That's big going forward.
Here comes another blitz. Herbert throws. Allen catches. They're down at the 11-yard line.
Someone's got to get their head around quickly. Right there.
3rd and 8. Oh, wide open. To Allen. Allen's coming over to his side. Got time, and it's caught by Allen. That's the 4th time he's found Keenan Allen on a 3rd down conversion.
I love that he saved space for the quarterback, but that was a big-time hit.
Herbert, pressure in his face, throws.
Oh, get out of here.
Keenan Allen's got it for a Charger touchdown.
Allen the motion man. 3rd and 3. Herbert going that way. He's got it. Does he finish the catch? Out of bounds. Where's the mark? Right on the 26-yard line, and that is a first down for the Chargers. His Ravens defense showing pressure, backing out of it on 3rd and 17. Keenan Allen, backwards pass to Eckler to get the first down.
Herbert protected, fires, completes. Allen lunging catch.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
Sketch and all those guys.
Mr. Content Creator, quick throw to Keenan Allen. That was and the Chargers from inside the red zone of the Kansas City Chiefs. Herbert for the end zone. There's Keenan Allen. Touchdown. Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert surveying. There's a wide open Allen. Wow, wide open, Kurt. What happened there?
And the Broncos bring 4, and the throw caught. It's a first down grab. Keenan Allen, who else? They need the 34. And the block by Pipkins. The catch by Allen. Good for the first down.
That's what Coach Harbaugh was mad about.
3rd down and 5. Herbert, they hit him as he throws, and it's caught by Keenan Allen. Knocked out of bounds by Cordell Flott.
3rd down here. Blitz is coming. Picked up. Quick throw. Keenan Allen's got it. Breaks a tackle. A lot of room. Allen to midfield. He's got a first down into Commander's territory.
Man-to-man, Keenan Allen.
4-man rush. They drop out Herbert. Complete first down for the Chargers, and they needed it. Herbert looking over the middle. It is caught. First down, and the drive continues. Keenan Allen again.
7 on 3rd down in the first half. 3rd and 5 here. Herbert, good protection, and he's got a completion to guess who? Keenan Allen. Herbert on the slant, and he's got the first down. Keenan Allen with another 3rd down reception.
And this is a 3rd and 4 for Los Angeles. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. They handle the rush. Herbert slings it to Allen for the first down. It's a 5-yard pickup that'll move the chain.
Pressure. On the run, he throws, he hits Allen. Chargers will get the ball when we start the second half. Herbert, complete. It's Keenan, a man who had not missed a snap all season long. 3rd down and 8. Herbert throws, and that's caught, and that's going to be enough for Allen for a first down.
And
flag down.
These second-level linebackers to potentially stunt to try to get after Herbert again.
Bunch formation of receivers. Herbert looking to throw quickly. He's under pressure. Moves the pocket. Throws to his left. Pass is complete to his left. Keenan Allen's got a first down inside the 30-yard line, and he's knocked down at the 28-yard line. KJ wins.
Because watch, both Gadsden and Keenan Allen are pretty open to that side. Gadsden thought it was for him and put his right hand up at the new nickel, top of the screen.
Here comes the blitz from the Titans, picked up by the Chargers, and the pass is complete to Allen, who's got the first down.
He has come into the league. 3rd and 8. Steelers bringing an extra one. Herbert in the middle. It's caught. There's Keenan Allen. Ties the Charger mark with that first down grab. His first of the night at the 47-yard line. Catch 9.55 in his career with the Chargers.
And this is what he does well here. And it has been against Eccles. Watch the move to the outside.
Campanelli, the 43-year-old, first-time NFL defensive coordinator, calling his shots here. Keenan Allen wrote himself into the Chargers history books last week, passing the great Hall of Famer Antonio Gates, most catches franchise history, and he's got a first
field, especially in 3rd and long.
Herbert protected. Herbert puts him there under it, and it is caught. Boy, that's a Hall of Fame catch by a guy who could be in Canton one day. Keenan Allen.
As good as it gets, but you look at this route, and this is just a scramble drill. And in any DB, I don't care if you're
design quarterback runs. His is much more scrambles.
Yep.
3rd down and 3. Herbert over the middle, and it is caught by Keenan Allen with a flag down. Darian Porter on the tackle, a gain of 10.
Graham.
Herbert fires, and it's caught. Another first down. And another Keenan Allen first down reception. Herbert throwing and completing it to Keenan Allen for a first down.